day 16, and I'm thinking a lot about safety and security, as I often do and frequently do. And these days, this conversation about where does safety come from, where does security come from, is, as pertinent as ever. And the thing is that so much of what we feel about security and safety has to do with our beliefs. If we believe that some outside authority is going to protect us, then that thought alone is giving us safety. But then if we get disappointed, then we become very angry at this authority, at their incapacity to keep us safe. Same thing with, there is so much safety and security that has been attributed to the amount of money we have, because we have come to believe that with money you can buy certain maybe protection, you can buy certain, I don't know, you can buy a gun, you can buy things that make you feel as if you're safe, but all of it is an illusion. I have observed my own life trajectory and the people with me, people who have come in and out of my lives and where we derive our security. And what I'm realizing more and more is that our sense of security, anytime we're dependent on something outside of ourselves for our security, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. Like, you can have a medical insurance and you can see doctors very frequently, and still, I've seen people who were diagnosed with late stage cancer and they're going outside for security didn't really help them. I have, in my own life, I have come through all kinds of, times of great abundance in money, times of difficulties with money. I am a daughter of immigrants as well. So there is so much that we attribute to money that actually doesn't necessarily come out as security. And these days we're talking about, the government is supposed to protect our rights. The government is supposed to protect our rights as women. Laws are supposed to protect our rights as women. And actually, I think that it's obvious today that it's an illusion. So a lot of what I teach in my courses, my Safe to Be Me course, my one-on-one work, and so much of what I am doing in my own work for me, is that understanding where does safety and security come from. And what I realize, what I come back to time and time again, is that you cannot get it from outside. We have to live with the fact that life is very unpredictable, and life is in itself is not terribly stable, in that there is constant flow, constant change. Things are happening all the time. Something unpredictable can happen all the time. We can plan things out perfectly for our future, and then life will surprise us, as it invariably does. So in my observation and what I see happening with other people, is the only security that exists is our connection to ourselves. When we're connected to our bodies and we listen to its language, we know what's going on before any doctor can tell us. And the information that we can get from outside, from a blood test and everything, or like a doctor's verdict, it's after the fact. It's already happening. So these outside, the information that comes from outside is telling us what's already been going on. Same thing with relationships. I'm a relationship coach, so I speak so often to women, to men who feel betrayed because something that they believed about their partner ended up being something else. And I always take them back to, how disconnected were you? What were you not willing to pay attention to? Because the signs are there, right? When we find out about an affair, when we find out about something that shocks us, the reason that it shocks us is that we were disconnected. Energetically, we read the environment all the time. Our body responds to our environment all the time. There is energy that people, that people diffuse when they come into our sphere. Same thing, with us. We diffuse certain energy. So people who come in contact with us, we have information that's beyond words. When we become masters of our own connection to self and to life and to source, we receive information that is beyond anything that we can receive from outside. So to come back to the matter at hand in the news these days, the reversal of our rights in the judicial system, you know what? Nobody can reverse our rights. We women, as I've said before, if we're connected to our bodies, if we understand our natural cycles, if we know when we're ovulating, when we are, there are natural contraceptive aids, there's everything that we need exists in nature. We've been completely divorced from what's natural. We've been over-reliant on technology and man-made rules and man-made remedies. And, sometimes they serve us, and it's not guaranteed that they always serve us. And I don't know about you, but I pay attention more and more to all sorts of evidence how we can self-heal, and that mind and body in alignment is an incredibly powerful tool. And we can take so much of our power back through reconnecting to who we are and what our bodies are telling us, and live in tandem with our nature. Rely on Mother Nature, on its medicine that's available. Yes, it would mean, taking the head out of the sand and start paying attention, becoming more proactive, step into our agency, become more responsible for our own health, for our, for understanding what our body is reacting to, for, becoming a master of our own bodies, our own lives, without giving up our responsibility in the hope that somebody else will take care of us. Same thing in our, in our personal relationships. I spent, several decades completely oblivious as a child to my husband. I expected him to take care of a whole bunch of stuff in my life. Until he, being a human being that he is, didn't or wasn't able to, and I thought I was going to die, and I spent many, many years in anger that he betrayed me by not being who I thought him to be. And only now, 30-something years into our relationship, I'm realizing that he's just a human. He's just a human like me with his own traumas and adaptations and limitations. And how could he even be responsible for my life? Me, a grown-up, an equal, arguably, in no way inferior to him. In no way. So how can we live this life not as disgruntled children, giving our power away to our partners, to our governments, to our medical experts, in quotes? How can we live in this life as grown-ups that we are, fully responsible for our lives? The more we rely on our government, the more we rely on some outside authority to protect us or to tell us what to do, the more we become that docile, somnolent creature that is easily manipulated and controlled. And I don't know about you, but I really don't feel like living like that anymore. So for me, the message is the same that I've been talking about for for years now. We are responsible for our lives. We're responsible for our bodies. We're responsible for understanding our bodies, knowing our bodies, becoming educated, becoming, master our thoughts, our bodies, the language that our body is constantly, the messages our body is sending us, understanding its language. It's up to us. Yeah, it takes a lot of rewiring, it takes a lot of unlearning to do, absolutely. Is it easy? No, but we don't have a choice anymore. We don't have a choice anymore. We must be responsible. So this is what's, still coming up for me. This is what I teach, safe to be me. Safe to be me, taking responsibility for my life back into my own hands. It doesn't mean that people or society or authority out there is somehow even wrong. They are who they are. But we can no longer, just give up our power to this outside authority. They can do what they can do, and if they cannot protect us, then that's not a way to just give up our power. Especially when it comes to sovereignty of our body as a woman. I mean, hasn't patriarchy shown us for centuries that they're not equipped to protect us? It's time we take our power back. Really, if nothing else, then this was, like, to me, the most flagrant, the most obvious awakening bell, to start really taking matters into our own hands. Learn about our nature, learn about our bodies, and then spread this information to our daughters and to the younger generation. Teach. If it's not done in school, once again, right, where we're relying on the educational system, if it's not done in school and it's not done out there, well, then it's going to happen in each of our homes. We'll have to have complicated conversations, and we'll have to teach our daughters about their bodies, and our sons for that matter, about responsibility, about our bodies, and about, how to master our own nature. We don't have a choice anymore. Self-responsibility is where it's at for every aspect of our lives, whether it's in relationships, romantic relationships, money, everything. Polluting the environment, we each are contributing factors to everything. Cleaning up our environment, it starts with us. Starts with conversations we have with our loved ones, starts with our own relationship with our bodies, and the responsibility, radical self-responsibility. So that's me today. See you tomorrow.